going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman. And coming up on today's show, first off, we're going to dive into the latest injury news around Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball and how their statuses look for Wednesday's play-in game versus the Heat. And speaking of a full-blown preview of Bulls Heat this Wednesday in the United Center, we'll dive into all you need to know about that matchup here in just a second. But speaking about the Heat, we're actually in a subscriber battle this week with our Miami Heat Report channel. They have just over 20,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and we're closing in on 12,000 subs. So if you guys want to help us close this gap, and also we will be going live for the play-in game on Wednesday. We'll be live at probably about 6:15 Central Time. So if you guys want to tune in then, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as well, and just stay up to date around everything on your Chicago Bulls. All right, let's dive into the injury news here. Starting off with probably the most important player in this game for Chicago, Josh Giddey. He is dealing with that forearm wrist injury. He left the game late last week, and he was ruled out Sunday against the 76ers, and now he is officially questionable for Wednesday's matchup. Now, I fully expect Giddey to be out there and to play. I think the Bulls are just kind of proceeding on the side of caution with keeping him out on Sunday, so I expect him to be out there, but the question is, how healthy will he be? Because a wrist injury, is a very serious injury, especially for playing the game of basketball. Just him having full control on what he wants to do out there on the basketball court. And also, I'm hoping this doesn't throw off his rhythm because Giddey, as we know, has been on a tear since the All-Star break, damn near averaging a triple-double in all of these games, and a guy who I believe Giddey is a very rhythm-based player. Once he finds that flow, once he finds that sweet spot, it can really start snowballing for him in a positive direction. Now, hopefully this doesn't help him snowball into a negative direction. So I expect him to be out there. He will be playing. I just don't know how effective he will be compared to what he was doing since the All-Star break, where he was truly playing at an all-star level. Like, if he was putting up these numbers throughout the entire season, there would be no doubt in my mind that he would have been an all-star this year, averaging 21.2 points per night, 10.7 rebounds, 9.3 assists, and then efficiency is my favorite part, specifically from beyond the arc, shooting 45.7% from downtown. And, I was just curious. I was like, man, I feel like Giddey's had a lot of good games against the Miami Heat, and he has in 3 games played this season against Miami. First off, Bulls are 3-0, and Giddey's averaging a 26-point triple-double. So they don't have a player on that team who can mess with him when he is fully healthy and he is in rhythm. He's averaging 26 points, 10.3 rebounds, 10 assists, and shoot 58% from the field. I also shoot 53% from beyond the arc against Miami this season. So I don't really think they have an answer for him. But again, if he's not 110%, I'm just curious to see how effective he truly will be on Wednesday night. But also, more injury news here. Lonzo Ball is questionable with a right wrist sprain. I honestly don't expect Lonzo to go in this matchup. And honestly, looking back at the Bulls' trade deadline decision to not trade him to the Memphis Grizzlies for a first-round pick where Memphis could potentially have like the 17th or 18th pick this year in the draft, I would have much rather have them just dish out Lonzo, even though it's the 2-year, $20 million deal. Is not a bad contract by any means, but still this injury bug is still holding Lonzo back. So I got one guy that I think is going to step up. If Lonzo does not play, and also Trey Jones, expected not to play as well. So we're looking at Chicago's very own here, THT, Talen Horton-Tucker. Over the last month, he has had a great stretch of basketball. I actually love the way he's been defending as well, because that's always been my kind of biggest gripe with THT is like he has all the physical attributes to be a good defender. Physical size, really strong chest, long wingspan at that guard spot. I just felt like it came down to the want to on that side of the floor, but offensively also, he's been great. Getting to the bucket, finding his three-point shot, and truly, if he has a smaller guard on him and he beats him off the dribble with that first step, just how big his frame is, you can just kind of seal him off, use that long wingspan to expand and get to the rim for, the guard can't, have some makeup speed and block his shot. So I think he'll probably get around 18, 20 minutes Wednesday night. And if he has a good game, that could be huge for the Bulls coming off the bench against the Miami Heat. But hey, it's going to be all hands on deck this Wednesday night. Do or die. You win, you play again on Friday, you lose, and your season's over. So if you guys want to wish the Bulls some good injury luck here, go down there, hit that thumbs up icon. Or if you guys just want the Bulls to beat the Miami Heat, go down there and please, please, please hit that thumbs up icon. If you guys want the Bulls to have some good injury luck heading into this Wednesday playing game against the Miami Heat. Now, coming up next here on the channel, a full in-depth preview of this Bulls Heat game. What do the Bulls need to do? How do they slow down Tyler Herro, Bam Adebayo? We'll dive into that here in a second. But if you guys are trying to get tickets to the Bulls Heat play-in matchup, I got the spot to head to, and that's actually Game Time. So if you guys download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, we're going to hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Now, Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Now, it's going to be a fun matchup in the United Center this Wednesday with the Miami Heat rolling into town. And if you guys want to help yourself out, get $20 extra off your purchase if you plan on going to that game. Game Time is a great way to do so. They have all-in pricing, which when you guys have this feature toggle that shows you the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. And also, you guys will get a view from your seat in the app before you even buy, so you guys can see exactly what you'll be looking at in the United Center this Wednesday if you're planning on going to the Bulls Heat matchups. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Got that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. But check them out. Massive shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's edition of the Bulls Report. All right, so we got the betting odds here for the Bulls Heat matchup. It opened up as the Bulls -3 in this one. Now the spread, I was just looking, is actually down to 1.5 in favor of the Chicago Bulls. But the over-under, a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be around 230, 235. But they're expecting, this playoff atmosphere. The game's going to slow down. These teams are going to be a lot more physical. So they put the over-under at 28.5. Now, as we know, the Bulls, they've been hot against the Miami Heat this year, sweeping that season series, going 3-0 against Miami. Most recent game, the Bulls won 119 to 111 on April 9th, but then they also won 114 to 109 March 8th, and then February 4th they won 133 to 124. But, personally, just a basketball fan of me, I'm actually very intrigued by this matchup because it's two teams that like to play two completely different styles of games. Where the Bulls, they want to get up and down the court, really push that pace on Wednesday night. Like, that's what they're ideally going to do. So their pace this season, 102.2, second in the NBA. Or on the Miami Heat side, slower pace, like to slow it down, which in a play-in atmosphere, it may give an advantage to Miami as their pace is 28th in the league. But their go-to guy, their all-star this season was Tyler Herro, and he really had a great start to the season. Kind of slowed down a little bit post-All-Star break, but over the last month, he has been fantastic, and he's averaging just under 24 points per game, 5.2 boards, 5.5 assists. He's been really navigating the pick and roll well. He just gets to his pull-up jump shot at an elite level. He's got that floater game with that lob threat to Quell Ware or Bam Adebayo. He really is a problem offensively. Now, the Bulls have had some sort of a success against Herro this year, averaging 24.7 points per game, 6.3 assists. Wasn't the most efficient from beyond the arc against the Bulls this season, but, that could change just on one given sample size, which, obviously Wednesday night is. But, he was able to hop in his playmaking bed, 6.3 assists per game. But honestly, Tyler Herro, he's a hell of a player, but he's not the guy I'm most concerned about here on this Miami Heat team. It's their best player. It's Bam Adebayo. This guy, I feel like his dominance against the Chicago Bulls has almost gone under-talked about over the last couple of years because anytime they play, especially in these play-in tournaments, just having that defensive anchor, which Bam is, completely changes the game. And this season, he's averaging 18.1 points per game, just under 10 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and pretty efficient from the field as well. But if you guys remember, last year during that play-in game, when the Bulls, they beat the Atlanta Hawks, where Coby White had that 42-point masterclass, and then a night later, they played the Miami Heat, and Bam Adebayo dominated that matchup. Coby White, he only had 13 points, and he had like 3 boards, 2 assists, incredibly inefficient from the field. But what made Bam so impactful in that game is he's just running that drop coverage, and Coby White's coming off trying to attack. Well, he feels like he can't get to the rim because if he tries to, go at Bam, that's a disadvantage for him. And then also, if he's getting to that pull-up jumper, Bam is so good at closing that space so fast, he can get a really good contest. So it actually leads me to my number one key to victory for the Bulls here. The guards have to win from the perimeter. I don't think you're going to be able to get downhill and put some pressure on the rim. Now, yes, Buzelis can, Patrick Williams can, but these guards are going to have to make shots from the outside. And I think that mainly starts with Coby White and also Josh Giddey, because Josh Giddey this season shooting 53% from deep against Miami Heat. Will he be able to do that in a play-in atmosphere? That's a huge question mark. And same with Coby White. I'm not confident that he's going to be able to get to the rim consistently and finish at a high level. So he's going to have to make some shots from that mid-range and from beyond the arc. But also, the young wings are going to have to make shots. Like Modest Buzelis, Patrick Williams, I promise you, Eric Spoelstra is going to put the pressure on him, or on those two guys, where it's like, hey, whatever the Bulls try to get into offensively, we are cool giving up that open three in the corner to Buzelis or Patrick Williams. We're going to lock down that interior for the Bulls aren't getting easy, buckets, whether it's in transition or just in the flow of their half-court offense. And, speaking about Coby White here, I think he's going to have to be the best player in this game. With Josh Giddey banged up with that wrist injury, or that forearm injury, I think Coby's going to have a 25-plus point performance if the Bulls want to win. Because I think Herro, he's going to have his way. I'm assuming the Bulls will try to put Patrick Williams on him. I don't love that matchup unless P-Dub takes that personally and he really tries to hop in his defensive bag and locks up Herro. But if Coby can just match Herro's production, whether that's, Herro goes and gives him only 20 points, Coby's got to get to that 20-point mark. If it's 25, 30, whatever it may be, Coby's going to have to match whatever Herro's production is this Wednesday night. And then a matchup that, again, I'm terrified about. Nikola Vucevic versus Bam Adebayo. If Vucevic's shot is not falling in this matchup, it's going to be a long night for the Bulls because I don't think he's going to be able to dominate him on that low block. He can get to that jump hook decently against Bam, but I'm not living or dying with low block touches for Vuce against Bam going one-on-one because, the Heat, they're just going to sit there and let him play one-on-one. And also in this matchup, watch out for Kel'el Ware. If the Heat run that double big lineup, I'm a little concerned that the Bulls just might get their ass kicked on the glass, even though they've gone 3-0 against the Heat this year. Just regular season compared to play-in basketball or just playoff basketball, it's two completely different games. And I felt like the Bulls, just with how fast their pace is of just getting up open shots, they were able to kind of almost cheat the game a little bit. But when it's slowed down in this playoff setting, I am a little nervous that the Bulls could, just offensively have some struggles in this matchup. And, one guy on each team here, very similar players. Kevin Herter versus Duncan Robinson. Who's going to hit shots? It's just as simple as that, especially in a March Madness setting. We saw it this past season. Whatever team shoots better from three, they're probably going to win that game. And I think Kevin Herter, Duncan Robinson, whatever one of those two can kind of black out and catch fire, I would hope to imagine it's Herter. He's been playing a lot better as of late, but Duncan Robinson's also had some great games against the Chicago Bulls, especially in this play-in setting. So those two, I have my eyes on that. But those are my 5 keys to victory for the Chicago Bulls. But you guys let me know who you got. Are the Bulls winning this Wednesday or are the Heat winning? You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Give me a B for the Bulls or give me an H for the Heat. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to come down to it. But I got the Bulls winning 101-98 this Wednesday night in the United Center. Friendly reminder, we will be live for the game here about 15 minutes before tip-off. So tune in then. Hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.